Hello and welcome to Movies on the Side. This is Stephen Robles.
And this is Nate Baranowski.
And today we are going to review the Best Picture winner from the 2023 Academy Awards. Is that how you say it, Nate? Do you say like this year? How do you do that?
I am so not. Isn't it like this is the 95th Academy?
It's the 83rd.
125th.
1007th. It was the 95th Academy Awards.
Oh, I was close.
The 95th Academy. We'll just go with that. This movie we're reviewing today won Best Picture, the highest honor, at the 95th Academy Awards. We're going to review the 2022 movie Everything. Oh, I already messed it up.
Everywhere. No, you got it.
No, I did. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That's the name of the movie.
That's
Everything,
it.
Everywhere, All at Once. And we're going to try and talk about it. But also, I want to talk about the Academy Awards because I need to know, Nate, did you actually watch the Academy Awards or any parts of it?
No, I have not watched the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
In
Neither did I, which I think is
10
great.
years.
That's what we should talk about.
But
yeah, you watch all the clips.
I do want to. Yeah, I definitely. I go and check who won all the awards, and then
That's correct.
I want to see certain moments that kind of get buzzy on social media,
right?
And that's how I ingest the 95th Academy Awards.
Right. So Everything Everywhere All at Once actually won 3 Academy Awards, maybe even more. But I know like Best Actress in Michelle Yeoh, and then Jamie Lee Curtis won Best Supporting Actress. Plus the movie won Best Picture.
And
Ke-Huy Quan, didn't he win Best Supporting
Actor? And then the director, 2 Daniels. Won Best Directors, I believe. The team of Daniels. It won a lot. Hold on a second. It won 7 Oscars. It looks right here.
It won 7 Oscars.
So IMDb tells me.
Right. Daniel
Best Original
Kwan.
Screenplay.
Best Director, yeah.
Best Picture. Best Achievement in Directing.
Won a ton.
Yeah.
The one it did not win, but I am so glad the person who won it did, is Best Actor Brendan Fraser. Fraser? You say it like a Z. Fraser. Yep. Brendan Fraser, who, if you had not followed the Brendan Fraser story, there was a lot of stuff that happened. He was kind of blacklisted in Hollywood for a long time. Really sad, like kind of the whole situation. Unfortunate. And now he has come back in this movie, The Whale, which I have not seen. Like I can't bring myself to watch it. I don't know why. But
is it out? Is it
you can rent it? Yeah,
to...
you can rent it on digital. Yeah, you can watch it. Maybe we should watch it. But Brendan Fraser won Best Actor. This is his first Oscar win. I think first time never nominated for an Oscar, and he won Best Actor for that movie. It seems really well deserved, but also seems somewhat like a comeback story that maybe Hollywood also kind of wanted to like push along. But I also feel like everyone, like I don't know anyone who doesn't like Brendan Fraser. I can't say his name.
Wow.
I don't know anyone.
You're doing great.
Who doesn't like, Brian. No one doesn't like Brendan Fraser, but I feel like he won this Oscar for his whole career. I feel like, yes, I'm sure he did incredible in this movie, but it's like this decades of pent-up nostalgia.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's like a Lifetime Achievement Award. And honestly, so happy for him. Like, he was crying. And I've seen every, junket interview of Brendan Fraser for the past, 3 months. Like, he was on The Tonight Show. He did the interview with Adam Sandler. He did, other little video clips for, Variety, whatever. I've seen every...
I
Brendan
feel
Fraser
like
thing. I love it all.
You see all the Brendan Fraser things, and you see randomly all Jim Carrey things in his.
I see a lot of inspirational. I don't know why.
Inspirational Jim Carrey stuff.
He has good things to say. I mean, he's very present right now.
Right.
I think it's really good. But anyway, I was so happy that he won. And I'm so glad that he's back. I don't know if you saw this. Again, I see every clip of Brendan Fraser anywhere.
Man, you're really fighting through. I know you want to say Fraser each time you do it.
So
and it's
hard.
You are like each time you say it.
Before we recorded, I needed to say Brendan Fraser, Brendan Fraser, Brendan Fraser. I needed to do that 10 times. Maybe just doing it right there.
He's going to edit Fraser in over top every time. It's going to be a bad edit. Yeah.
Fraser. Yeah, just going to insert it. No. Because I love him so much. And I don't know. I just feel like he's so deserving. Oh, he showed up to some movie premiere. I think it was a premiere of or some showing of The Whale. Brendan Fraser showed up in his mummy action type outfit. And he has said in multiple interviews,
he wants it.
He's ready. Like, give me a script for The Mummy 4 right now. I will do it. And I feel like the world is ready. I feel like that's gonna be an incredible opening.
I do feel like everyone who has interviewed him says like, "Hey, is that coming back?" And each time he's like, "Get at me." So whatever, whatever
send me the
powers
scripts.
that be that are
Let's
like controlling that franchise.
Right.
Yes, he's basically done I'm ready. Let's go.
Although I really want to see Rachel Weisz with him again. Also, like it needs to be the two of them. It needs to be the two of them, 100%.
Maybe she's not on board.
Oh, maybe she's not on board. That'd be sad. But anyway, I'm just so glad he won Best Actor. I'm glad he's like back in Hollywood. Like just seeing all these actors and actresses like love him for just being him. It's just so fun. So
and what are some of your fashion wins and losses? What were they? What were the ones that were giving? What were not giving? What were you really feeling as you watched people on the red carpet? Like, what was really working for you?
Well, for me, every guy is wearing a tux. I will say Andrew Garfield,
Michael B. Jordan. I felt like had a look that was
very good look.
The suit was great. The tux
he and
was
Jonathan
great.
Majors, they like co-announced something. They were very cool together. I mean, they look very good. Andrew Garfield, just a standard tux, but I just love seeing him at these things because I feel like he's so unassuming. And there was a Jimmy Kimmel. Again, I didn't watch the monologue, but I saw this clip where Jimmy Kimmel like really laid into the whole like Will Smith slap thing. And he was making this joke about how if someone wants to try and slap him, they have to go through all these people. He's like, they're going to have to go through Creed, and they show Michael B. Jordan on camera. They're going to have to go through The Mandalorian. They show Pedro Pascal up in the balcony, like looking at the camera. So they're going to have to get through Spider-Man. And they focus on Andrew Garfield, and his face is just like, he's just like, not me. So,
oh man, I love Andrew Garfield and stuff. I just watched him in Tick Tick Boom.
Oh, was that good? I wanted to see that.
It's really affecting to me. I would say it's a bit of a slow move, but I knew nothing about the Jonathan Larson pre-Rent days, and it made me appreciate that whole story.
Gotcha.
So I liked it.
Okay.
I watched it with my wife. She did not like it. Come after her.
Well, now I'm.
She's not on social media, so good luck getting after her.
Should I watch it with Whitney, or you don't think she would enjoy it?
No, do it. So Lin-Manuel Miranda directed that movie, and all of the music from it is Jonathan Larson's music diary, all of his songs that he had written along the way is in it. I mean, if you like Andrew Garfield, you have to see it. That's just.
I do. I feel like I love him more now after like No Way Home and seeing him in all those interviews, just being like glad to be here. Kind of
happy to be
I'm
here.
just glad I get to do something. Like makes you love him even more. I wanted just to comment because you asked about fashion. I have no way to comment on any women's clothing because I have no idea. I mean,
you have no words.
Everybody looks great. I did see this clip of is it Ariana DeBose? Yes, who was in
Ariana?
Ariana DeBose. There's a clip of her
Sorry,
I'm so sorry. Well, there's a clip of her running into Morgan Freeman backstage at the Oscars, and she just totally gets starstruck and frazzled because it's Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman's just standing there like, hello. He doesn't really say anything. He just says hello, and it's kind of an awesome moment. But did you have any thoughts about any of this fashion? I mean, fashion?
My amount of Oscars looking up was, again, knowing who won.
Right,
2, seeing Brendan Fraser acceptance speech.
Fraser.
Did I say 2 or 3? Did I say A, B, or C? I don't know how I'm ordering these. And then finally, furthermore, the Harrison Ford hug.
Yes.
With what's his name?
It is with Kei Kwan.
Yes.
And they were in Temple of Doom together, right?
They were. And
Temple
so
of Doom, that's right.
that just their excitement
Amazing.
of yes, it was just
100%.
joy, glee. I didn't watch anything else. That's it. That's the extent of what I know.
That was basically all I watched. That was it. All right, so let's talk about.
I saw some red carpet looks. I mean, Saw some red carpet looks, but I'm not commenting on them. I think everyone looked great.
All right, so let's talk about this movie. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once came out last year, won Best Picture. Rotten Tomatoes. Nate, do you have any guess what critics gave this movie?
I'm going to say critics gave it
it's high.
93%.
Very close. 95%. Critics gave this movie 95%. Audience, a little lower.
89.
Audience gave it. So close. 88%. I'll give that to you. I'll give it to you. I can't even begin to summarize this movie.
You can't.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
You really can't.
No, I have to say this right up top.
Yeah.
When you asked if I have seen this movie, and I have.
I asked you last night. Yeah. I asked you like 12 hours ago.
And I saw it a long time ago, relatively.
Right.
Probably back in 2022. When after it came out for rental. Yeah. I wanted to see it. I immediately had this sinking weight on top of my shoulders because immediately I thought, Steven's not going to like this movie. Steven, this movie's too weird for Steven. And then that made me sad because it's like, am I going to be the one like defending this because Steven's going to be like, oh, they're hot dog fingers. I don't get it.
Okay. This movie, everyone was talking about it. So, do you know who Straw Hat Goofy is on TikTok? He's like a movie.
You've mentioned him
guy.
Before. I have no reference for
Big
this.
Movie review guy. He was raving about it.
Also, this has high expectations, and I know you hate coming into things that have high expectations because you're a contrarian.
That's correct. That's correct, I think. Or should I say you're not correct because I'm a contrarian. Anyway, everybody was raving that it was this incredible, incredible movie. You read the synopsis like on IMDb. Like, let me just read the one-sentence synopsis. It says, a middle-aged Chinese immigrant is swept up into an insane adventure in which she alone can save existence by exploring other universes and connecting with the lives she could have led. That's the summary of this movie, which sounds bonkers. Like, this sounds like
they didn't even put the bagel into that one.
There's also a bagel. And I think there's an everything bagel joke in the movie, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that synopsis, plus like seeing the trailer, knowing it's like rated R, not knowing, like that's going to be weird. I was I had not seen it. I was resistant because I was like, I don't think I'm going to like this. I can't do it. And so for a long time, I didn't do it. There was an evening where I was just kind of by myself. I was like, I don't want to watch 2012 for the 1000th time. I don't want to watch Black Adam. It's so bad. So what I can't see Endgame
I like that
again.
Those two, yeah, exactly.
I just can't do it. I know because when I don't know what to watch, I like default to like a Marvel movie, a disaster movie, or some action movie.
And you've seen all the Star Wars stuff recently. You're already...
just there's nothing else, and so and Last of Us is big on HBO right now, but
too scary.
I don't like the zombies. I don't want to be scared.
Did you watch an episode of The Last of Us? You strike me and I know you. In my heart, I feel like Steven Robles one night at about 11:30 p.m. after everyone else has gone to bed thought, "Man, this feels like a zeitgeisty sort of thing. It's everywhere. I wonder if I can watch this." And I feel like you would probably get about 15 minutes in and then go, "Nope, I can't." That's my guess of what you did. Did you watch 15 minutes of Last of Us?
Nate, that is an incredible assessment of who I am as a person. I did exactly that. I watched like 15 minutes. But I will say I have an addendum because it was just as you said. It was like.
Did you watch a little bit of the video game playthrough as well?
No. I didn't do any of that.
That's me, actually.
There was then another day. I forget what it was, but I was in a situation where I was just sitting in my car.
You said now it's daytime. It's daytime and the sun is out.
Said, broad daylight. I have my little phone. I said, let me try and watch a little bit more.
The zombies
of this episode.
can't hurt me through this little screen.
That's exactly right. And it's daytime, so no zombies. Can't do that. And so I finished that episode, and there was zombies. They look weird.
There were.
And Pedro Pascal, listen, there's so much hype, not around Brendan Fraser only, but also Pedro Pascal. I feel like
I watched the hot ones, the hot wings thing.
I've seen the hot ones.
I watched the whole thing. I don't even like. I watched him explaining to either Variety or whoever as he goes through his cinematography, like through his whole catalog, his whole filmography is the word I was looking for. I watched that whole thing, and it's like, I'm not even a huge Pedro Pascal guy. I've never seen Game of Thrones, and I've never seen The Mandalorian. And this guy, I saw him in that one Kingsman movie. That's my relationship to Pedro.
So he is just so big right now. And listen, I like him. I really like him. Like, I like him on and off camera.
Wings
I like the hot wings. They were like Sarah Michelle Gellar posted a picture of them. I guess they were in like an old Buffy episode or something, and like he was really.
We should just do like an ill-informed gossip, celebrity gossip.
That's what it's become. That's exactly what it is. But I love everything about it, and so he's great in this movie.
Everyone, we're definitely going to get to this movie.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
But this is like old school Mott's. This is what people are here for. People are here for this. So I finished that episode in broad daylight. I was watching my back for zombies, and listen, Pedro Pascal. I love seeing him in. Like, he's great in the show. But it's zombies. I can't watch it. I'm not doing it.
So you finished the one episode and said, I'm not coming back for two. I'm sure there was like a hook at the end of that first episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Didn't hook you enough.
No, it's every time I open HBO, it's like, Last of Us? I say, no, thank you. I say, I'll just pass right on by that. I'm totally good.
I'm watching Black Adam again. Thank you.
No, I can't bring myself to do it. I even tried, Nate. I even did the thing where I just went to the action scenes to watch it, and it was just so bad. Like, it's just so bad. Anyway. I'm sorry, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if you're listening. Love you. He had a killer suit. You want to talk about fashion? Did you see his suit jacket?
Giving.
That suit jacket, next level, and Nate can't even believe he's doing this. Okay, there's some inside jokes here, listeners, and if you need to listen to the bonus episodes to get them directly in Apple Podcast or Patreon.com/moviesontheside. Anyway,
well done. Good plug.
Thank you, everything, everywhere, all at once. I resisted it for a long time. I said, I'm alone by myself. I will see the hot dog fingers.
Yes.
Let's see the hot dog fingers.
Yes.
And you know what took me over the edge? The googly eyes. Someone tweeted or whatever that, like, I can't believe Everything Everywhere All at Once made me cry over two rocks. And I was like, I don't even know what that means, but I have to know now. I need to know, like, what is that even about?
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Nate, I really didn't like this movie. Like, as you correctly predicted, like, I did not care for the plot devices. The action is super weird. Jamie Lee Curtis is both incredible and insufferable in this movie. Like, incredibly insufferable. Like, I really did not like much of anything in this movie. I didn't like the donut or the bagel, whatever that thing was. But I cried multiple times. And the storytelling it does in the midst or in spite of this ridiculous multidimensional plot is really compelling, and it's powerful, and it's touching to see these different relationships, to see the catharsis happening, to see realizations happening, and it's like super deep. And so I don't even know what to think about this movie because I really did not like it, but I also like cried multiple times. So I don't even know what to do with that. I guess it means it's good. Maybe. I don't know.
I think it's. Here's the thing. I think it's good.
What do you think is good? Okay,
I think it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
It is very weird.
Very weird.
But it's weird in a way. We went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah.
Which is weird in a big franchisey sort of way. It was weird in a.
It's an accepted weird.
Create an accepted weird that we have to create merchandise from this.
It's still in like the guardrails of like mainstream entertainment.
Correct. This is like we got to make sure we're still entertaining for the whole family. This movie is so shockingly strange at times.
So strange.
That I love that it doesn't feel like. Well, we don't care if you're like, we don't care. This is not a franchise. We're not starting a new IP. This is just like killer actors going to put a real, touching, impactful story wrapped in an everything bagel of absurdity.
That was really good. That was very
good. And yet, you won't care about the absurdity at the end because the real life emotions. Watch as we touch your emotions while also seeing two people with hot dog fingers hold hands.
Nate, there was literally a fight scene that was incumbent upon two guys putting trophies somewhere that I can't even mention on this podcast.
Yes.
And that was the plot device.
Yes.
And I just
yeah, it is incredibly jarring, violent, like it has all of these things. But the themes behind it. Let's talk about the themes for a bit.
The themes behind it,
because there are several. One, generational family trauma passing through different generations, and how Evelyn's parents, like all of that, her being
marrying this guy that they don't want.
They didn't want. They kind of rejected her. Right. She then became sort of bitter at him, and then eventually had her own daughter, and like that sort of passed along. She became the thing that she. So like, there's that whole story, and the whole like as she finally realizes, like, this is well, like I'm part of the problem. Like the world hasn't happened unfairly to me, and I'm just like been hurt by everyone. I am doing hurting. I'm hurting my daughter, and I'm hurting other people. And that is like super relatable along the way. So that's like one theme. So like put that in a box. There's the whole like finding like nihilism, full on straight, like, which is what her daughter.
Nothing matters. Right?
Nothing matters. There's no meaning. If you zoomed out far enough, we're all specks. Everything's meaningless under the sun, and we're all just gonna, from dust we came, from dust we go. Like, and like being able like that versus Waymond, and versus like a man who finds joy in these simple little googly eyes, and like lives in the moment, and like yes, there's pain, but he is like seeing the beauty all around him.
Can I tell you? Listen, I need to tell you about the googly eyes, because one of the like images that you keep seeing in all the like the trailer thumbnails is like the one big googly eye on Michelle Yeoh's like forehead, and like you see him early in the movie, and I told myself going into this movie, I don't want to be whatever those googly eyes are about. I don't want any of it. I don't want none of it. I don't know if the googly eyes are supposed to be weird or creepy. I don't know what it is, or if it's whatever it is. I don't want it.
Like I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like them, Sam. I am.
I do not want them on the head. I do not want them in the bed. I do not want them on the rocks. I do not want them on the socks. I do not want them on the washer. I do not want them with the floss.
Under the balloons. Yeah, I don't want googly eyes. By the end of this movie, Nate, that googly eye gets slapped to her forehead. And I was almost visually angry at how much that emotionally affected me. I was like so mad because it was so good in that little moment. And I was like, shoot, they did it. Okay.
But and like the imagery there of like, that's like the traditional like Enlightenment Taoism, like that sort of that tie in. But then you combine it with the like fun-loving, not seriousness of a Waymond, and all of a sudden she like sees the goofy beauty in front of her, and like that's her enlightenment.
And can I tell you, like Kei Kwan, who plays Waymond, who is Michelle Yeoh's husband in this movie, early on we see that he's like has divorce papers and is planning to leave her, and it's like usually that is such a on-the-nose plot device, and early in the movie it felt like such a like, okay, duh. Like, this is an easy way to create conflict just by looking at a piece of paper. But one of the plot devices of the movie is you see these different, like, it's a multiverse. So you see these different possible outcomes, like, like just multiverse, like it's the multiverse concept or whatever. And you see a world where, like, she wasn't with Waymond and she was a singer or whatever, and then, but Waymond was also very successful by himself too, and he's wearing his tux. And, like, she gets to see like the innate goodness in some people like Waymond. It might play out as a solo, super successful entrepreneur who is also kind and loving. But it might turn them into a husband who is also kind and loving, but maybe they had to trade success for something else, and so they run a laundromat. But for her to come to understand that the same caring nature is in both versions of those Waymans, like that is the realization of when the eyeball like hits her forehead, and it is really compellingly portrayed. And like that moment, like there is that catharsis, and like that divorce that seemed like an easy conflict at the beginning, it gets weightier as the movie progresses because you see like this is who he is as a person. Like he's the good one.
Right.
He's the good one in this relationship, and it's like, even I still didn't like the hot dog fingers, but it's they did the other stuff well. Can we talk about Jamie Lee Curtis real quick? Or
wait, I got to stay on Wayman for just a second.
Yeah, please. Okay,
because he's so much like the man that I want to be in so many ways. Like that is like
he's so good.
That is so good. I do think there is something about his face that. Remember how we talked about like certain actors have a very punchable face? He has
like that guy in Top Gun Maverick.
The guy in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, exactly.
He has maybe the most huggable one to like hold him close face of like, man, I want to give you make you smile and hug you. And I'm trying to think right now of what other actor I can think of that I would feel the same level of like, come on, get in here. Get in here, you rascal. I'll give you a hug. I'll be like Harrison Ford. Good.
Right. That was so good. That is true. And like, do you know what the glam bot is at the Oscars and these award shows?
No.
The glam bot is this like hyper slow-mo camera that I forget his name, but this guy with like long curly hair. He basically instructs every actor, like, stand on this spot. The camera's going to come real fast and just try to look right in the camera and do something cool. And then there's this hyper slow-mo little video clips of all these actors doing cool things, like, whatever. And Kei Kwan did it at the Oscars yesterday, or on Sunday, and he was the only one that, like, he literally jumped into frame. Like, he jumped perfectly into frame as the glam bot came in. It's a super slow-mo, and he's, like, smiling as he's slowly falling from the jump. I was like, this guy, even in real life, this guy, like you're saying, like he's just super huggable. Right. So yeah, I totally agree. He's a good dude.
All right, let's go to Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. I did not know she was in this movie, and so when she appears behind that desk at the tax office, I was like, "Is that?"
Yes.
Curtis, like, and then for her to keep returning throughout the movie as a villain character. It was shocking. Like, it was also shocking how much she committed to being that role, which is just a bizarre, ridiculous role. But she was 100% in it. Like, for sure. She stapled a piece of paper to her forehead kind of in it because for a fight scene.
Right. Well, so there's that. But also her, like, grounded character. Because everyone has their, like, this universe boring, grounded before they get preposterous. Like, that person is so... Man, I'm trying to think of a different word other than cringy. But so, like... grating. Like, a grating character. It's like,
right.
I hope I don't have to deal with someone like you ever. She did a great job of portraying that person who is at every DMV or Social Security office that is just like a pain to work with. Mm-hmm. And so she portrayed it great. But she totally sold it. And then there's the scene again at the end. Like, this is one of the times when we talk about movies that didn't deserve one of the payoff moments at the end. And this super strange movie like does deserve those payoff moments. And when Jamie Lee Curtis and Michelle Yeoh are sitting on that bench outside the laundromat, it's like, shoot, yes, I'll take it. Like, that's another emotional, cathartic moment, and it earned it. Like, the movie earned it. I don't know what else to say. Well, and okay, so we've now talking about the relationship with Wayman and Evelyn. Now we got Deirdre and Evelyn. Now let's go to Joy, the villain, the daughter mother dynamic. There is a part near the beginning of this where after she basically like sends her daughter away and is like, listen, you know, basically like, don't tell your grandpa you're gay, like hide this from him, and also like does something very, very like insensitive there. Right. And then like Joy leaves the laundromat and Evelyn follows her out and says something like, also, you need to eat less or something. Yeah. And it's like, what have you done? Like, what have you done? Like the kind of things that like make you feel like, wow, this relationship's shot. Like this can't come back. Yeah.
But what's amazing is then this juxtaposition at the end of the movie where she says the exact same hurtful things, but then follows it up with the most genuine, authentic, I love you and care about you. And if you choose to do X, Y, or Z, like I'm your mom and I still love you, even if your grandfather disowns you, like whatever happens, like it is such an amazing juxtaposition of those two scenes. And their dynamic, like every scene that they have together is amazing. And her as the villain,
so good.
Stephanie Hsu as the villain, there was a TikTok of like best villain entrances of all time. And there is a scene in this movie where like she like ticks her head or whatever, and they change dimensions with every tick, and it's like,
that was so good.
That was amazing. Like, please do that again. Like it was the coolest thing. And so
she was a frightening villain. Like,
yes,
she was frightening to me.
And it was so cool because it was reserved like power for such, for many of the scenes, but she was able to exude like this I am dangerous vibe, and like totally like it was amazing.
Right. So, well, it's like nihilistic evil. Like, because none of this matters, I'll do what I want, and because we in the multiverse, that who cares about the life and death of people in this, because there's no value to any of it, and like that, which when you like, if you and I watched this movie in person together, I feel like discussing purpose and value and everything would be one of those, like, we would just stay up for a long time talking about this giant. It's a huge theme in this movie, is this whole like, if you're everywhere and if you see everything, then what, if you see how it all ends, if you see everything, like what does a little moment, what does a little life mean? And like, those are huge questions that this movie just in some ways like addresses, but you're more focused on the relationships between the people. So it might not hit you until like the second day after. It's like, oh yeah, what's the point of living 5 extra years in 1,000 years or whatever, and dealing with all that.
And I love how, in the multiverse plot device, Michelle Yeoh gets to see herself not only as like the laundromat wife, but as this successful opera singer. And what I feel like this movie does well is it shows you like, there are worlds out there where you're the millionaire or you're the successful whatever. But in that, because she knows what it was like to be married to Waymond, and now sees his character for what it is. In that universe, Michelle Yeoh, who wasn't married to Waymond because she was a successful opera singer, she didn't stay with him. The one thing she wants in that universe then is Waymond. And the movie does a good job of implying or showing and not telling you. It almost looks like if she could trade whatever fame and success she had in that universe for the relationship with Waymond, she would do it then. And then to take that appreciation and desire for that person from that universe and apply it to the universe where you did marry him, only you ended up in a laundromat, and then being able to appreciate and love the person as though you were, from that world, but here. And I don't know. I think it does a great job with that.
Yeah.
It's good.
So overall, let's rate this movie. Yeah. And here's what I want to say before we rate this movie.
Yeah.
This movie is not for everyone. I would have said before we did this, it's not for Steven. But he watched it
not.
without me asking. I'm glad I didn't ask.
You didn't ask.
But, and it's violent, crude at times, like in a way that, like, again, not for everyone. Yeah. But the themes of it are so touching, and the originality of it is like no other movie you've ever seen. It is like no other movie that's coming out of Hollywood right now. So there is something really beautifully startling about, look at this original movie amongst a sea of sequels.
They needed that on the movie poster for the advertisements. Beautifully startling.
Beautifully startling.
That should have been the tagline.
Yeah, I really...
Yes, go on.
I was affected by this movie and enjoyed parts of this movie.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to see this movie. I saw this movie again, maybe about a year ago or so. I kind of want to see the movie again, maybe in another 4 years. Like, there's some rewatchability to it for me, which, like, maybe it's like morbid curiosity of, like, I don't quite remember all this stuff, but I think I'm going to go back and watch this movie again. So that, whatever that means.
Yeah. So on a scale of 0 to 5 googly eyes, of course, I will say I'll rate it. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
Because I have to recognize, what is a movie supposed to do if not feel things and think about things and package deep
moves
themes. Yeah, in a way that it's like the medicine with like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Like,
right. Except it's a hallucinogen and not sugar in this one.
Except it is a startlingly troublesome hallucinogen. But it is at the core, like, powerful in many moments that are really deep. And like when they're on the staircase and that bagel is sucking everything up and Michelle Yeoh's dad character like holds on to her to help her keep going after he tried to fight against her, like, it's deep. It's a powerful moment. So I'll give it 4 out of 5. It's googly eyes.
I'm going to give the movie 4 out of 5 too. It is a movie that at some point in time, two characters are deciding whether they want to move towards complete annihilation from existence.
Yeah.
And it goes from that huge scale to a couple trying to work things out in a laundromat. And all the things in between. And so it is original. In some ways, I think the win, the Best Picture nod, almost comes as, to me, it feels like a positive reaction to kind of some bland movie making we've had in the last year or so. Like, almost as a, like, hey, there are still some risky directors and risky screenplay. Like, there's still some stuff out there. And if this is an example of what taking a risk is and succeeding, I'm good with that. I'm good with more. Yeah. They might not all hit. They might not all be good. We may do some on this show that go like, that didn't work for me. But this was a huge risk, and maybe there are parts of it that didn't work for me, but on the donut hole, it did.
Okay, last question. Do you recommend people go watch this movie now if they have not seen it?
Okay. Yes. Great question. Not a blanket recommendation. If you want to know whether you should go see it, you should. I mean, you probably don't know us personally, but if you know us personally, text us, DM us, and we will tell you as like a service to you. If you don't know us personally, you need to go to your 30-year-old friend or cousin who is kind of artsy, who has definitely already seen it, and ask them, am I the kind of person who would like this movie?
That's a good
So you need to go find your North Star, and then they will guide you in this recommendation.
Find your bagel.
So find your bagel. Yeah. It's not everything for everyone, but for a few. I definitely know some people who I wouldn't recommend it for.
No.
So, for example,
Mom, don't watch this movie.
Dad,
don't watch this movie.
Don't watch this movie.
Not because it's like vulgar to the point of like you'll just can't stand it. It's just going to be so weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, watch
Gone with the Wind. It is not.
It is not West Side Story. It is not a Disney movie. It's just weird. It's super weird. Super weird.
But
But
to every chalk artist out there who's listening to me, blanket recommendation. I know all y'all. Blanket recommendation for everyone in the art world. Go after it.
Go for it.
Get yourself an IPA and grab yourself an Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Very good. Listeners, if you have seen this movie, let us know what you thought of it in the comments. You can comment below our YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube, or on our Instagram, @Movies on the Side. You could do that there. Support the bonus episodes because, again, I mean, those things are just getting as long as the regular episodes. And we talked about my trip to Las Vegas, and Nate dropped multiple not hidden jokes. Inside jokes in this episode. You'll only be able to get if you listen to the bonus episodes. So do that, and then like and subscribe. All those things. So thanks for tuning in. Oh, and as we always say,
you think because I'm kind that it means I'm naive, and maybe I am. It's strategic and necessary. This is how I fight. Being
was
kind.
that the daughter who said that?
No, it's Wayman. It's Wayman.
It is Wayman.
Man. Yeah. Stephen.
It's pretty good.
This goes after the sound at the very end, but
sure.
I do need to ask you. You know my brother. Do you recommend this movie for my brother? Because I'm on the fence.
I feel it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I need to know him a little bit. I mean, we've only met in person like twice. I feel like I need to know. I need to know what the weirdest movie he has seen already.
Ooh, the weirdest movie maybe he's liked.
The weirdest movie he's liked, and then maybe I could judge from there. So, Jacob, text us.
Is there
what is the weirdest movie?
Is there like a proxy movie that if you like this, then you will like if you like Moulin Rouge, then you will like what's?
I just Googled best weirdest movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I Googled.
That's great.
I don't recognize any of these movies. I'll be honest.
Yeah, again,
because we don't watch these.
You in the recommendation.
I don't even want to say the name of some of these movies because I'm scared people might Google it and be traumatized. I don't even know. These movie posters are insane.
Quite weird.
Very strange.
Labyrinth. Have you seen Labyrinth?
I have not. We have several listeners that want us to watch it. I didn't.
Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know which one's which. One of them has...
There's Pan's Labyrinth. There's Legend with
Peter
Tom
Pan.
Cruise.
There's Pan.
There's Peter Pan.
There's I Am Legend.
There's Pan. Let's see.
Fade out to silence.
I don't recognize any of these
movies, we do word jazz.
If you could watch Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, I feel like, you could watch this for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Scott
Pilgrim's actually probably a pretty good. Like, it heads the right direction. Yeah, if you like Scott Pilgrim, you will like Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I think that's fair to say. There we go. We made it there.
Done.
Done.